That was foam. That was foam. See that? Foam. I saw it wiggle.
I should not have that in the... Definitely not a sponsor. Man, let's get right into it today. Magic Car Path ride, everybody. Zach Malosh here. Ryan Westfall to the left of me.
Hey guys.
Welcome the F back, everybody.
The F back indeed.
What a spectacular week we have had. Man, I couldn't even wait to get here today.
Lay it on me.
If you before we get into anything at all, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Yes.
The YouTube numbers have been quite pleasant. I like it. I'm glad everybody's enjoying. Thanks for all the feedback. Also, if you're wondering why there is a ZZ Top record behind us, coming into play pretty much. We've implemented the pick of the week.
Yeah, this is a special shout out to your father.
Okay.
Because, you know, in honor of his amazing musical taste, which got you on the train of music, which got us on the train of music, which sparked our friendship, which brought us to where we are now. His record collection should be something worth fucking honoring.
Yeah.
And this guy's got crates of these amazing vinyl records that, like, you know, a vinyl collection, to whether or not that's something you're into or not. To me, it's impressive because it's just like, it's something about tangible, physical, musical records. Records are the best. They're big, they're bright. The artwork looks great because it's in just a bigger format. And this is the one that we randomly selected.
And I think that's gonna be the like pretty much the whole thing of it.
Random selection.
Yeah,
like
this isn't gonna be a review of the record. Because, for example, this record, I only know one track on it.
I don't know any tracks on it.
Correct. And I don't know their discography. I don't know when this came out. I know it came out in 76, we read.
Yeah. Obviously,
that's
we're
about it.
We're low-key fans. But we are fans.
Obviously.
We are fans, right?
Yes.
Right? I mean,
yeah. Only guy not in the band is the drummer. Or the only guy in the band that doesn't have a beard is the drummer.
Cool.
Whose name is Frank Beard.
His quality.
It's amazing. But just
great
real
knowledge.
quick,
No, wait, but I got something more on this. Wait, go to the track selection. You had something.
Oh, you want to see the front?
No, it's like, yeah.
Oh, the track selection. Yeah. With the
I don't know any of these songs.
So I'll put up a better picture for everybody. But yeah, the track that I know in particular is $10 Man, which is a phenomenal track. But it'd be interesting to see. So basically, I guess the whole thing behind this is we just pick a record for its artwork, essentially. There's a background story to this, which we'll get into in a second.
Yeah.
But I guess at the end of the day is go check this out because that's what we're going to do after this.
That is what we're going to do. But as soon as I pull this, I'm cracking up for a couple of reasons. For two reasons that just come to mind instantly. One's kind of silly, but it makes a difference. One of the best restaurants that I went to years ago. I used to work for this company years ago that I still work for now in some weird way. And we used to go to this restaurant at trade shows in Vegas called Z Tejas. So, and that shit was the best crab cakes I've ever had in my life. And I can't explain why. Vegas is weird with food because they somehow managed to have like some of the best restaurants on planet Earth because culinary people flock there because they get a shitload of money to start up their amazing restaurants. Right. So for some reason, it just happens to be Vegas with arguably the worst culture in the world, just fused in with some of the best food in the world. And it's fucking brilliant, man. That place was amazing. And another reason for our band, one of the weirdest references to music or comparisons was we played some show, dude. I don't know if you remember, like it happening. It was just me. It was just this couple. I don't remember if it was I think it was in like Sunnyvale or San Jose or Saratoga, somewhere back in the day. But we played a show and some couple just like wandered in and watched our entire set. So I come out and we're loading the equipment and these people are like, "Hey, you guys, the set was great." And she goes, "Yeah, it was like, it reminded me of ZZ Top mixed with," and it was just like long pause. And I'm like, first of all, ZZ Top, okay.
Yeah,
like,
love ZZ Top.
Yeah, but I got to see where this goes. And she goes, "And the Police." It's like ZZ Top and the Police. And I'm like, whoa, and then like, and that sticks out. And now when
That's
people
really good.
when people ask me how my band sounds, because it's really difficult to describe
Yeah.
genres and music styles, I always come back to that. I'm like, well, I don't know. I'll let you tell me and listen for yourself, but I could tell you that one critic decided that it was ZZ Top and the Police mixed together. So, for what that's worth. So,
Man, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
There
a
it
good
is.
little story, man.
Yeah.
I've always compared us to what did I always say? Primus, Foo Fighters, and the Police
yeah,
for Relapse.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's hard to do that, man. That's music, though.
Yep. But so check out that record, and this should be fun. I like this.
We'll do this for the next one, too. Yeah.
Yeah, screw it. We'll do this
Every
as many times
show.
as we want. Maybe we won't do it one week.
Maybe.
Cares.
Maybe not. Maybe go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, coming in hot, big week. I can't wait to tell everybody, man, or talk about this. We went golfing.
We did.
We went golfing.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
It was perfect.
As you heard in the last show, I was basically getting, hey, you're going, and I was still hemming and hawing about going.
What was the last
And
time
then
you
we
played before a couple days ago?
I think it's been like 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah.
That's a long...
2 months for this, essentially, right? It's been 2 months now.
When do you think the last time was that you went 3 months without playing golf once?
Oh, man. Years.
Years and years and years.
Maybe if I had a back injury, like injuries, but, you know.
Your back injury kept you out probably for a solid 6 weeks at least.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe you
Which is
got close
stupid.
to that, but this is different. This is like you're fine. You can swing good. You're
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
in the
yeah.
best
So it's
shape.
kind of
You're in
annoying.
the best shape of the
Better
last.
shape than I was
Yeah,
then.
exactly. So well,
But yeah, we went out, and with that said, man, that was the best my swing has felt in days, and I hadn't golfed in 3 months.
dude, the only
Yeah.
problem you had was that you were overswinging, and the only reason why you were overswinging was because you were crushing your driver. That was what I
While
noticed.
overswinging a little
You were
bit.
overswinging on your irons or your hybrid
could
and
feel
shit
it.
because every time you stepped up to the driver, you were just overswinging, but it was working, and you were smacking it.
My timing was on. For some
Dude,
reason.
it was best day I've seen you hit that driver in a while.
Yeah. First tee, too, I was just like, no warm-up swings. I just hit it, and it just went straight. And I was like, all right.
I mentioned at one point, I was like, just when we're talking about you needing
Yeah.
to fucking axe that driver
Again.
and get a new one, it comes back to life.
I'm
That's
making
what
my
happens.
bitch again.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You were smashing it. You and Tim had a good little
Yeah.
battle going, man.
I mean, I won. We didn't finish, so
Oh,
technically it doesn't count. But I did win, so technically that counts. I should have texted him 2 in a row today. Whatever.
Yep, 2 in a row. And this is all post Sea Void? Oh, no, you had one before Sea Void and then one
Yeah.
after Sea Void, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's 2 in a row.
Dang.
It doesn't count if it's a win, but whatever. I just want to.
It's a win.
Well,
Well, you can't do anything about it because they pretty much at 7:30 blow the horn and everyone's got to kind of start walking in.
Same thing with the gate, dude.
Yeah,
Yep.
everyone kind of has to finish their round or finish the hole they're on or whatever and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird because technically we could have finished the round.
Oh, we could have.
We were on 15 and there
We
was
could've.
plenty of light and it was like 7:25.
And I'd like to get out at some point, maybe next. But the thing is like I'm already. I mean, I'm stretched thin. Like, gotta.
Hey man, I'm a working man now.
I know this
can't even
guy.
get out
Hey,
in the
let's
week,
talk
man.
about that, bro.
Yeah, man. Big
Congratulations.
news for us too.
Big
Congratulations
news
as well.
Oh, we got tons of big news.
Yeah,
Lots to celebrate,
big personal
bro.
news, dude.
This guy. We'll start with you. This guy's laced himself up with a new job.
Correct.
He's a manager or a manager.
Sir.
Manager.
Pretty much.
Just fucking managing shit now at some company and fucking congratulations, bro. This
Thanks,
dude
man.
rolls out of bed, is in a bad mood, and decides, fuck, I'm just gonna look on Craigslist or whatever. Where were we on? Indeed.
Indeed, yeah.
Indeed. Whatever. I'm gonna find a job. Just stumbles into a place that just happens to be geographically right next to an area where he used to work, which is subsequently bike riding distance, as I understand correctly.
10-minute bike ride.
Oh, fucking convenient.
Yeah.
So you're set. And then this dude interviews with the guy. Turns out he's the same age, mountain bikes, golfs, done deal. Once Zach mentions the golf connection, we all know how this works in the professional
Pretty
world.
much,
dude.
yeah.
Bro, by the way, I just got to say, quick, dude comes in to pick up lasers, Bannon Dune vest on today.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I'm like, oh, Bannon Dune, huh? And he's like, Oh yeah, eyes lit up. Of course, we start talking. He's like, I did a trip out there, played all 4 courses with my buddies. I'm like, okay, your story's cool, but I was on a fucking or on a Northwest world tour. I was on
You gotta bubble them up a little bit.
I was on a planetary tour, and we just happened to be in Oregon. But I'm like, my buddy said, hey man, you guys are, I know you're on a tour of the Northwest, but I got clubs, I got outfits, I got tea time, place for you to stay, and a club for you to play. Did kind of blow his mind.
Yeah.
His story was better. I'd rather do 4 rounds. But.
Man, we got to plan a big one.
But anyways, this dude basically hits the golf connection and gets the job. And now the guy's already like, oh, yeah, this is the best, dude. You're qualified. You're meant to be, dude.
Likable guy. You know what I mean?
That's brilliant.
I normally I wouldn't be like, oh, yeah. But, yeah, no, I fit in there pretty good there, or at least what the position entails me to do. But I'm vibing. And then, dude, congratulations to you, my friend.
And then I got a house, bro. Thank you.
Power of the pod.
The pod got me the house. I know if you heard the show, I was yelling pool pod power.
Yeah.
So I did get pool pod power. It was the mini pool pod. It's the indoor pool pod power. This place has got a little jacuzzi.
Wet bar.
Yeah, it's the wet bar.
I like that, dude.
It's got a jacuzzi, but it's also got a bar. It's it's a weird pad, but it's a beautiful house, and I got it. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Stoked.
So
boom.
Now it makes sense that you're a member at Deep Cliff Country Club.
In the zip, bro. Well, almost. Actually, you know what the closest course is, and it is retarded close to me, is Sunnyvale.
Okay.
I mean, we're talking, it's 0.4 miles.
Oh, wow, really? That's cool.
From Sunnyvale.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. And I like that place, man. 15, 16, 17 at Sunnyvale are glorious holes. I love those holes.
That's what I call the little amen corner there.
And I want to say, like, there's a few holes, maybe like 3 and 4. And then like 9 and 10, and then maybe like 13 if you know the course well enough. That's like I've played there a million times. Those are almost like links holes, a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. It's an
18's
easy.
Weird, but
don't get me wrong. It is a quote unquote kids track. It's a warm up course. Greens are just kind of whatever, but there's some challenging holes, and it's fun.
There's definitely one hole for sure that I dread every time I'm there on the right when you come out.
I know.
It's right before 9, I believe.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The narrow chute where you got to hit over the water.
In front.
Yeah.
And it's not that the water I'm scared of or anything. It's just I just always miscalculate my aim point there. It's just
it's a tough little bastard, dude. That whole honestly, I used to when I started playing that course, I did well there, and more recently, I always seem to put one in the drink there.
Yeah,
dude.
so that's
in the bunker at the back.
And it's weird because I try to think positive because I'm usually doing okay, but for some reason I either have out of bounds, too short, or too long. Yeah, every time. It's really weird. There's no like, oh, sometimes I hit the sweet spot. I mean, that's what I'm left with every time. Just that hole. I know it's got to be mental now, but I'm just saying. Yeah,
it is a mental thing, just like we were talking about on the last episode.
Yeah, right.
It's one of those, like, the magnet there, dude.
And then, it's funny enough you mentioned that. When we were playing, I turned to you in the middle of that round, and it was, I had waited too because I didn't want to jinx it, but it was hole 3 at Muni. And I was like, remember we were talking about, like, knowing courses, or you have that one hole, you hit the same. That's the hole there. I hit, no matter what tee box, no matter where it is, for some reason, I hit it to the 200 marker every time, with the exception of yesterday, but I did pulverize that shot. Yeah. I usually hit it straight to the green in the same spot every time.
It was. You mentioned it. Weird. I remember when you mentioned it.
And I mean, I missed aimed and I hit on the green side, but it was still straight as an arrow. Yeah. 210 yards exactly on the pin. Just, I miscalculated, I guess.
That was a fun round, man. And shout out to Tim and Mace. It was so great to see Mace and see Tim with his fucking beard. Beard.
It's so weird seeing friends.
Yeah, it is. It's weird, like, casually meeting up at a golf course with your buddy. It felt like it was a wedding or a fucking bachelor party or some special birthday.
Except you had to bring a mask.
Except you had to bring a mask and wait in line, and it was bizarre like that. 6 feet apart. The same old thing.
Got told to leave at 7:30.
Yeah.
So 2 things I watched when the horns rang, and we were a part of it, and everybody was a part of it, and it was more convenient for us because it happened as we were basically on the 14th green. So when they blew the horn, we basically just walked on to 15, which led us home anyway, right?
Right.
But like I could hear other chatter on the holes like, "Oh, he turned around and went back. Let's go. Let's finish. You know what I mean?
Like that. Like that's the guy, the marshal. That's
Yeah, like 'cause
trying
he
to.
was coming out and like trying to wrangle people
All
up.
he's trying to say is they're going to close the gate when they're going to close the gate. So I'm giving you ample notification. It's your.
And it's funny too because you and Tim were like, let's do it, and me and Mace were like, man, we got to get going, you know.
Oh,
but other groups, you could hear them going through the same thing too. It was funny as hell.
Hey, I'm glad I put the rush pressure on myself because that just happened to be. I didn't par it. But still, that is a beast of a hole 15, and that was one of the best drives I've hit on that hole probably ever, man. I cut that little corner.
Cut it.
That's crazy.
Your driver booms. I like that hole a lot.
Tim fucking outdrove me a couple times. That'll piss me off.
He's got a mean
man.
drive.
That's not cool. I can't live with that.
His little short stack swing.
Can't live with that.
It's a beautiful swing. I'm not even knocking it.
Yeah, short stack.
So that was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I started off with a birdie and then proceeded to 4-putt on the next hole, the hole after that. That fucking course was easy / hard. I gotta say. I don't know.
The foam. How'd you like the foam?
The foam, man. It's a big deal. The foam.
Yeah, I only have one complaint.
Well, will you tell me?
I should give a special fuck you, Tim, for 30-foot bogey. Which I probably would have sunk anyway.
Was that the first hole?
Yeah, first
no,
hole.
The first hole. This guy makes a 30-footer.
I always make a 30-foot putt on fucking the first hole for buggy. That's what I do there.
You see, so as we talked about with Santa Teresa before, and at some courses, the cup pulled out, so the ball just bounces off.
Right.
The plastic. So there's a few things going on. The plastic sound and the reaction is like a solid bap.
Yeah.
And the hole looks big because you're talking about removing the plastic out of the ground. It makes the hole look fucking huge. You didn't get to see that. This was way different. They had not even pool noodles, like a little thinner than that, just like the regular little, like, I don't know, packing styrofoam gray little things. So it just circles the cup. So the ball can actually kind of fall in the hole in some cases. Some of them were a little higher, so they would bounce out. But essentially, you're not listening for a sound. More is you're looking at the foam to see its reaction, and that's when you know that the ball is in, when the foam like bounces or jiggles. But yeah, this dude on the very first hole, just from 30-something feet, and you could just see the foam like just give a little jiggle, and you're like, that's in.
You know what's kind of funny is I think, and this is kind of a segue into my problem. It's kind of interesting the way they had it set up because I've seen it, the foam technique, already utilized, and they usually leave like a little dip, like a practice putting mat. You know how like it just kind of falls in.
Yeah.
And which I think is great for like if you get a hole in one. Like there's no way to tell if you got a hole in one if you hit the foam, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying those happen often, so there is really no worry, but it can happen, or a chip in, right? And chipping can make a whole difference. So I think what happened is someone really didn't like reiterate to the greenskeeper like what they meant by putting the foam noodle in it, because those were like either too far up or completely flushed or kind of weird. So I don't think they like. It's probably fine. Maybe they're cool with it, but I just think maybe they meant like give it a little dip.
So my coworker, the engineer at my company, is already like brainstorming all these ideas, and he wants something that where there's a sensor, so when the ball comes into the hole, it'll let it bounce out and stay out, but it'll indicate like through a lighting, because you can't really use sound. You can't have like or some weird like horn blowing off, but you could use a burst of light. So just so if you're like,
yeah, I get it,
150 yards out,
like a little trigger,
you could see that little beam of light burst. So you're just staring at the flag if you hit a close shot, and you'll be able to see if it goes in.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, there's just no way. I mean, you can't hear the plastic and you can't see the foam when you're past, what, like 80 yards?
Yeah.
90 yards?
Definitely,
I mean,
definitely.
Chip-ins, you'll be able to see the foam.
Yeah, even 100 yards, you can't even see
I mean, if you're in the bunker, if you're off the fringe and there's a group, you'll be able to see the foam, and that your friends will hopefully be honest with you if you can't see it, like if you're deep in a bunker. But, I mean, anything beyond that, 50, 60, 70 yards, if it's an uphill green, you can't see shit. So if you had a little light in each flagpole with a little sensor that went like bing every time it touched.
Makes sense.
Might be worth producing, because who knows how long this is going to last.
Yeah, and I already have sort of seen something similar. I get what you're saying too, because there is, the thought in my head that, if the light is like sensitive to the pressure, right? Yeah. So let's say if you do hit it dead center, that light's going to actually shine brighter than if you just kind of nicked it and it rolled over the hole essentially.
But
So no, but I'm just saying that's a great gauge because
Yeah.
because if it's just lightly, then you know it probably didn't go in. But if it's dead in and that light is brighter
Yeah.
from 80 yards out, then you know you sunk it in, right?
Normally that would make more sense, but now the rules are so weird because even the slightest touch is officially counted
Yeah, that's true.
as
too.
a whole shot.
That's true too.
So
I saw this one
weird.
course that has, and it's kind of that theory, but what happened is when the ball hit the flagstick, there was this like little mechanism on there that like kicked the ball out right away.
Yeah.
So like it essentially like went in, but it only left enough room for it to actually hit that little leg, and the leg would just kick the ball out.
I mean, that's kind of what the foam was doing too, and it did kind of get fun saying the word foam.
That's all foam, babe.
Foam.
Dude.
Foam.
Yeah. It's in the foam.
Yeah, it's in the foam, bro. The foam is where the fart is. I don't know.
It was still fun, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
I was telling my boss, I was like, I didn't even care what I was shooting. I don't remember the round. All I know is I was smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
And we walked, and that's all I really, really remember and care about.
Yeah.
That was a great.
And the weather was
yeah,
rad, dude.
God.
It was like North Carolina weather. I don't know, whatever.
It was
just like
orange, and it was just
windy
kind of
and warm and kind of like dark,
muggy.
Yeah, muggy. It was cool.
It was nice, dude. It just felt so good. And I was telling Ryan when we left, I was like, I had no idea how bad I needed this in my life right now. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause I could have not golfed or golfed, you know? But when I was out there, I was like, thank God I did this.
It's why we love the game, bro. It brings us, it was much joy, much joy. I'm pretty sure we were all just reeling. I remember I got home and I just took a shower and I was just like, just sat there for like 20 minutes, just rifling through all the shots I could remember hitting, like as much as I could, just because it was.
I just came
fun.
in smiling. I was just smiling ear to ear.
And I slept like a baby. I'm sure you're.
Oh yeah.
Did you have little pains and weird like
the
legs?
The obliques were a little sore. The legs I wasn't tired because I've been riding my bike, but
I laid on the couch and then
little shoulder pain.
I had to walk down the flight of stairs late at night to dump off some garbage, and it was just like, oh my god!
Don't
and
need yourself, dude.
What did we walk? 15? Yeah.
Nah, that's still 6 miles.
4.
5.
I think
We'll say
I
5.
think 18 holes is about 5.5, right? 6.
No, I think that place is 7 miles, isn't it?
Is it really?
Yeah, because I know Deep Cliff's like 3 or 4 miles.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we play. Oh, not speaking of which, but we played hella quick.
Yeah, we did.
Well,
2 hours even on the friggin'
Was it 2?
dot. That's what
I
May
thought
said.
I thought it was even less.
No, May said. I remember he said it took us exactly 2 hours to play the front 9.
4:15 to 2. Yeah, or to 5.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. And that was beautiful pace, man.
It was, dude. And Mason made a great point too. The amount of walk-ins or walk-ons they were letting.
Yeah, they don't
in.
let the walk-ins.
So and no 5-somes, which is, dude, I don't care.
Something you got to say at San Jose Muni because they're
Muni
notorious
allows
they are notorious for that
Oh,
shit.
my
Yeah.
goodness, dude. The same people that are telling you that you can't have a 5-some are the same people in a 5-some.
But the
there,
no
sure.
walk-ins thing is ideal, and it's great because it enables them to make use of the ability to fucking organize, which is what golf course struggle with. San Jose Muni, much like every other course in the Bay Area, just lets anybody and everybody play whenever they want. It's just show up, give me money, and you'll get out as soon as possible. And that's what bogs down courses. And if you restrict it to tee times, and that doesn't mean that singles can't come play. Just call, put your name in the hopper, and then they'll put you in a group mathematically to make sure everybody goes out systematically and efficiently. That's the way it should be done.
And I loved how smooth that was, man.
Yeah, it was.
And there was no like panic.
Yeah.
Everybody was there ahead of time. Everybody got out. You know,
Although I'll tell you one thing, the beauty that made it so much more smooth is that the only people showing up to golf right now are golf addicts. Like,
oh yeah.
I think even
not been out
the
there.
casual Sunday golfer knows in his heart of hearts that like it's not my place to go out and play golf right now, whether I want to or not. I'll let that for all the golf nuts, and I'll wait for the next company tournament.
I do like what you're saying here because my initial fear of even coming out to play was just that.
Yeah.
With that said, I guess maybe being too much of a Debbie Downer right off the bat, but it proved me wrong.
I'm being optimistic. Maybe they know better, right?
I would say that because they weren't there.
They weren't.
Everybody out there,
They weren't.
everybody out there was having, a fun time, a struggling time. It seemed like a lot of people were happy just to be back. Like, I didn't care about any bad shots. Granted, I didn't lose a ball until like the last 2 holes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So which means other than my quad, I was playing pretty damn well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other
You
than
actually, you were crushing the drive. You did. That kind of took me by surprise. But that was
the quad. That was it.
First of all, I got a
double, all bogeys, and
I got a bone to pick with you, and I was me and my boss.
Really?
Oh yeah, big time, bro.
Okay, what happened?
You were the first one to go in a bunker, and you
yeah,
you just up and win and hit out of that bunker.
I didn't see any rulings,
and I wasn't paying any attention, and it's not your fault.
Right.
It's the fault of the golf course because we looked it up again today, and at Los Lagos and at Coyote and at some other course,
no bunker.
You're not allowed to play in the bunkers for the reason that they don't want you touching the rake, right?
Right.
Once I saw you hit out of the bunker, in my mind, I'm like, well, fuck that. Now we all have to hit out of the bunker.
That's what happened. And you could have called it right before, like, hey.
I could have said, if I was paying attention, I could have been like, whoa, bro, there's no rake. Check it out. Look at the bunker because it
hadn't been. It was
oh
shit.
My God. It looked like a dinosaur's fossils were buried under that shit. It was all chopped up and looked gnarly. When I had out of the bunker, I had to pay for that shit too. It was the worst. And it was mud.
Tim too. He got the bunker.
Tim had to have one. I don't remember how good it is.
Everyone took their lickings though.
Everyone took their lickings.
Yeah, everyone knew that was stupid.
But here's the thing, like,
handled it.
It's not the end of the world. If I would have caught you before, I would have said something.
And I should have asked too, because really you got to think like, what an idiot! Like, why wouldn't I try to take the advantage?
Look at those bunkers too. They were horrible.
Man, mud pits, man.
Yeah,
dried up mud pits.
Well, yeah, because not only is nobody raking them, nobody's tended to them. The greens crew hasn't even.
No way.
The course, fine, you can mow that, but they're like, oh wait a second, we don't even need to deal with new sand and replacing it and raking it because you're not allowed to hit out anyways. Let that shit go.
Yeah, it's not gonna overgrow or anything. Yeah. And their bunker's already shitty as it is. They're not gonna get any shittier.
It's just dirt.
Coming up on the turn here. I got a text today from Big Bad Bradley, fellow golfer buddy. He got the nod. He will be playing Pebble Beach on May 25th. Did he hit you up too?
Oh yeah.
So
proud.
Hey man.
Proud Pebble Pop.
He is.
Wait, is it first timer?
First time.
Oh yeah. First
time. He's been itching to go for a while.
I sent him a text right before we started this. Shout out, props, bro.
Yeah, it's a hell of a ride. I'm gonna send him some notes.
Yeah.
I'm going to send him some notes. Just, not how to play, but just, hey, watch out for this. Here's some aim points. Yeah. Don't fall for this. That's it.
Yeah.
Course moves this way, that way, that way. Don't fall for the beauty,
I hope he does well, man.
I hope he does too, man.
I mean, for me, I had a horrible front nine and an amazing back nine. So I had that, and that it's a gettable course, man. It's a gettable course, as we've talked about before.
If you lose it once, though, you're done.
Yeah.
Like, if you lose control once, there's no regaining it. And I'm talking like lose control. Like I did on number 6. And then it was all bad when it came to 8. So I lost it twice and I could never give it back, man.
Yeah.
It's tough there.
I believe
it is gettable.
I believe on the record of Tejas by ZZ Top, the lyric is the devil makes the sphere roll towards the ocean, right? No.
Yes.
Is that?
I don't know, but I like that.
Not factual. Could be true. No,
but I love it. I am bummed for one reason for him.
What's that?
And this is really cool. And if nobody knows, here's some good little Pebble insider. When you're done playing, and correct me if they took it out or something, but I'm assuming right now you're not allowed in the clubhouse, which I think he said.
Correct.
So after the round, if you don't know, when you go to the clubhouse, which most people don't after their round, right? You're usually packing up. You've already bought your goodies while you're at Pebble, and then you leave.
You're in there getting your bag token.
Yeah,
with the
but they hand that to you. The cart guys hand that to you. So
with pride, they hand that to you with pride.
So you can go in the clubhouse and you can enter your scores into a digital thing. I think it goes into your NCGA as well.
Yeah.
But then they print out a legit like Pebble Beach scorecard with a nice font printed out of your whole round.
Oh, I want.
And then you can frame it. So my Uncle Matt did that, and I was like, "Where'd you get that?" And he goes, "When you go in the shop, you can get that printed out and you put it in your frame." And he framed the picture.
I didn't finish 18.
Neither did I. So I wouldn't even have seen the clubhouse anyway. Yeah. But shit, let's hit the turn and we'll hit him with some more.
Let's do it.
My man, tell the people.
I'm gonna tell you about Anchor FM. This is what we did. If you haven't heard by now, go upload a podcast, man. If you want to do a podcast, no minimum listenership. It's absolutely free. It's easy to start. You can make money from it. So, I mean, there's no excuse for you to not go to anchor.fm and get started on a podcast, bro.
Anchor.fm on your phone. You can record it. It's the best. Again, that's what we did.
That is what we did. Do it.
Well, shit, man. We got some golf news or what, dude?
I don't know. The only, not really. I mean, of course, there's no news. But oh, dude, Rory. Shout out to the gram for just to parallel the gram. I put a couple things out there. Rory sounded off against Trump today.
So good.
Criticizing for him for how he's running his administration throughout this COVID crisis. Oops, sorry about that. Throughout the COVID crisis. Now, as far as sports people just decided to go out on their own and call out politics, campaigns, and presidential, whatever. That's rare, man. We don't see that very often. And why Rory felt inclined to do that, I don't know. I don't know how it got brought up. I don't know the context. I don't really know much. I didn't read much of the story because I saw it and I read the quote, and that's. I
mean, that's all you really needed to see.
Yeah.
But I did read a little bit of the article. It was cool, man. It was an interview. They just touched on it because I think it's always been an underlining issue with some people, or at least something that some media outlets probably think he needed to address, and maybe even his own PR. But essentially just got brought up that it did happen. He did it out of respect for the White House, the office itself.
You're talking about him initially playing a round of golf with Trump.
Why he did,
right? And the reason why this is even a story, just to preface this, is
from what I'm just saying,
is basically because he played a round of golf with Trump a while back, and that the guy asked him if he'd play another round with golf, and
correct.
It brought up the whole well, here's
That's
why,
what it was.
And he did end up saying, but no, I probably won't play another round of golf.
Yeah, no, he said he would definitely never.
Yeah,
he said he enjoyed his time. It was fun, but no.
Yeah, he diplomatically said, "Fuck that guy, you're dead to me, DT." And
he has had mentions before to him, Rory, he has sounded off on him before. So,
and Rory's an outspoken guy. I mean, he's actually you could probably say him and Phil Mickelson, I would say. And Tiger, just because inevitably he's asked so many questions, he's eventually going to just be outspoken. But Phil and Rory seemingly go out of their way to be outspoken in the golf community, and they have an opinion and they have something to say. And I agree with Rory, and I agree with Phil's financial decisions. If it were legal, I'd say those were great decisions too. So good one, Phil. But no, I mean, dude, Rory's just he's. Good for him, man. Good. Say something. Stir it up a little bit.
Well, and
giving us something to talk about.
It's really not anybody's business. It was just something that happened.
Yeah.
By chance. It could have been sponsor related, whatever. And he said guy was super respectful on the course. He was a gentleman to everybody, to the group and the caddies and everybody that worked there.
Hey, as we've mentioned before, without getting political, which we won't to an extent. The guy loves golf. We said there is at least one redeeming quality.
Hey, I've golfed with several people I don't like. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I've enjoyed golfing with people that I don't enjoy.
Correct.
Let's just say that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Throughout the years. So, fuck it. Who cares? And with golfers in particular, they got a good rap, and
Rory ain't the only dude who's played golf with Trump because he loves golf, so naturally he's going to invite lots of Tiger has and lots of people have.
All the young guys have. There's a bunch of golfers that love Trump.
And now maybe
before,
I don't think they're going to as much because he's kind of putting kind of a little bit of a double S here in the office of White House, and so I think a lot of those players who had played with him before probably won't. And Rory just seems to be outspoken about it and mention it. Because he was asked and prodded, so he delivered. So, whatever. It's a story. I mean, there ain't nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
Don't you have some crazy story of some dude, stabbing himself?
Yeah. So we were talking about Holy Moly again, and...
the golf, the miniature golf?
Miniature golf thing. And, dude, crazy story. So, I was reading this article one time about this. I didn't know, and I've actually seen footage of it, and... there's a pretty extreme miniature golf tour.
Okay.
It's a professional miniature golf tour.
This existed prior to Holy Moly and all
Correct.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is like 80s, right? And it still exists, I'm sure.
Wow.
Because this was relatively recent in that
I
aspect.
did not know that was something people
Yeah.
competed
And
at professionally.
Dude, and a lot of times it's like ex-pros that maybe didn't make it or whatever, but they're killing it on that.
I see a movie. A movie needs to be made about somebody's
Dude,
life in this fucking circuit.
There should be a movie. I'll show you the footage that I first saw, and you can make a movie just out of this particular event they had filmed. And
I'll do it.
It was live broadcast.
Oh,
it was pretty amazing. We'll go over it one day. But
Juicy.
so fast forward, a gentleman, ex-pro actually, was on the tour. This particular tour, I forget where it was. I believe it was in the Midwest and maybe even Florida. But he was on this pretty big circuit, and he made it all the way to the state championship stuff. And we're talking high stakes, bro. Not millions. You know, we're talking Corn Ferry money. You know,
Okay.
20,000, 50,000, you know, 100,000.
Enough to make a living if you're a winner.
Yeah, definitely. So this gentleman gets to the finals, and he ends up playing this elderly lady who's quite phenomenal at golf. And excuse me.
I could see miniature golf scene, no fucking restrictions, race, color,
Oh, yeah.
ethnicity, age, whatever.
No age restrictions
size
whatsoever, dude. A
just
4-year-old
any
could be in there.
putting. We're talking about putting, dude.
Yeah. Just put it
A
down,
4-year-old
bounce it off
could
some
be.
walls, and get it in the hole. You know,
Yeah.
That's it.
A paraplegic could be.
Technically speaking,
Yeah.
yes. So, and yeah, that is true, dude.
I mean,
So with that said, it's a highly competitive sport. So this particular gentleman made it all the way to the finals and all that stuff, and faced this elderly lady. So she ends up winning. Long story short, and this guy fucking loses it. He just loses. He can't contain himself. So what ends up happening is he takes his putter and smashes it into the scoreboard.
this is like after he officially
Lost.
had closure with the fact that he lost.
Yeah, like he's just now unglued, right? Like, and he lost to this like 70-year-old lady. You know what I mean? Like she was up there.
Okay.
And I do remember what I saw. I'll tell you. And anyway, so he proceeds to hit the metal sign with the putter. Okay, head first. Well, it ends up being a metal sign with like metal brackets behind it, like posts behind it, so it doesn't give. It snaps the putter. The putter head comes back with a little bit left of the shaft on it and comes directly back and stabs him straight in the heart. And he died.
Shut the fuck
It
up.
fucking stabbed him in the heart, dude. It fucking punctured him right in the heart and killed him instantly.
And he died.
He died. It was on remember that show back in the day, 1,000 Ways to Die or whatever?
Yes.
That was on that.
That's probably one of the gnarliest shows that exists to this
did,
day.
yeah.
If you haven't seen
I
that
still
show,
catch
I
it
remember
every now
that.
and
Yeah.
again.
That's where the guy died from the juicer. Remember that?
Right, I've
the
never seen
juicer
that.
killed him. Yeah.
There was it was the same episode. It was now that I'm saying this, I remember it was a sports edition, and they had this other guy that had a hernia that exploded.
Yeah.
Right, and he was playing catcher, and like it was like a softball league, like a highly competitive softball league, and he had like, you know, you play the championship that day or whatever, right? So he played a game, and he was like, oh, he was throwing up, and he was bleeding, and he didn't know, and then he played the second game, and he ended up collapsing on the floor because he was out there for like 3 hours in the sun playing.
God.
And he was just literally bleeding to death as he was playing baseball.
That show's insane, man.
Oh man,
I'm you know
That
what?
guy's a competitor,
I'm gonna
let me
save
tell you that.
I'm gonna save the juicer story for the next episode, but I have to follow your stabbing.
Juicer one's nuts.
Stabbing in the heart and killing himself, randomness. But I heard a story today from the man that it actually happened to. Well, actually from his brother that was sitting right next to him. But this is crazy. So this is a guy that I work with. This is the dude Mike, the engineer dude, who's fucking literally an Olympic ping pong alternate, ex-pro dirt bike rider, ex-pro archer. I think he's still a pro
Wow,
archer.
okay.
He still does competitions in archery.
Does he hunt too?
Oh, he does. This fucker does everything. Good golfer too. He won the Broheim Open with a ridiculous index because he doesn't really even play golf, and he just shot like a 91 and just won that shit by like 8 strokes.
I want to do that. I want to be that guy.
Yeah. So, anyways, this asshole, good at everything. He was an archer. He was already doing competitions, and his brother was really good at it too. They were both like good at everything. So they're doing this archery competition. They're like 14 and 16, and Mike, he's 14. he's like Chris was supposed to bring the scorecards that they use to. It's like they do a shotgun tournament. They do archery in the woods. They have targets set up in trees, at the bottom of trees, behind bushes, all over. So they go in little groups and they compete as teams, and they shoot their arrows, and they add up their scores. Then they go to the next one, just like they have little stations, right? So they forgot their scorecards. So Mike is like, shit, I'll go get them. So he's running to go get the scorecards, and then he's running back, and he's taking a little shortcut through the archery thing, right?
Oh, dude. This is
and
terrible already.
You'd think there's no way. It's like the odds of this happening are ridiculous, because he's running in an area that's safe, quote unquote, because it would take somebody to like airmail one directly over a bale to like even put him at risk. And you know what's going to happen. And sure as shit, he's running. Next thing you know, he's just like, he hears the like fling, and then the like, next thing he's on the ground. Boom. Like, he gets up. He's just like, what the fuck? Okay. And then he just runs in. He doesn't even realize what happened. Runs into the place. He just got the scorecards, and he's trying to submit himself into the competition. And the lady who's like there when he runs in, she's just like practically faints. She's just like,
oh no.
You have
no.
Is it? And he's like reaching down on his shirt, and he's looking down, and his shirt's just like covered with blood.
Oh my God.
Right? So they're like, oh shit, and he passes out a little bit.
Oh fuck.
They take him to the infirmary. He fucking gets that shit removed.
Terrible.
And all that. He had an arrow, just so you know where it hit him. It hit him in the ear, bro. The arrow hit him in the neck.
Good thing he was running, right?
In the neck, right below the ear. Hit him an arrow shot like from fucking 50 yards away or 100 yards away.
And he's cool.
And no, this is the beginning of the story, bro.
Oh wow.
he gets out of the infirmary and gets a little patch. He goes over to where the competition is taking place to check in to see if his group, the rest of his team, still competed in the competition. And when he gets there, there's people standing over like a little like trash can that's on fire, like homeless people did, because like this is like in the forest, and it's getting dark, dude. There's only like 28 minutes left of the competition.
Okay.
And he hasn't done anything yet because he got fucking shot in the neck with an arrow. So he's getting there. He stands next to the people talking, and they're like, "Did you hear about that idiot ass kid who got shot in the neck? Like, what is he doing?" And Mike's just like standing there with the same shirt with a blood stain on it. And he's like, "Oh yeah, what happened? Oh, that's crazy. What did he do?"
No.
Just like talk. And they're just like, "You're the guy?" So he's just like, fuck that. He starts running. Long story short, he wins the tournament. As the sun's setting, he grabs his arrows and goes and completes all of the stations on the tournament, checks out his scorecard, turns it in. Same day, wins the fucking archery tournament.
Fuck up.
Swear to God, bro.
Epic, goddamn fucking competitor, that guy, dude.
Dude, like I'm really hearing this shit right now.
I just went from like, are you this guy's dead to
he got shot in the neck that day. Showing up late, ended up getting out of the infirmary, going back and winning the tournament.
Power of the competitive drive, dude. Wow. Impressive.
I don't know, man. I think he kept his head down, bro. That's what I'm saying. Woo! Yeah, so there you go, bro.
Well, that's epic. The good, the bad, the ugly. That's what we'll give you here.
Oh, that's good. Is that show title?
We got so many quotables for the show today. We actually have to talk about it today because there's so many good ones.
We're gonna have to.
Man. Well, let's get the fuck out of here.
Dude. We got a tournament on the horizon.
Can't wait for next week. Next week's show is gonna be big.
Yeah.
More news, more golf, man. The big boys are coming in. It's gonna be great. Golf is back. Is sort of.
Is it a tournament happening this weekend? Right?
Sunday.
It's Sunday.
It's on at 11 a.m. Should we get together?
Day they'll shoot up. Oh shit! Sunday at 11. I'll keep Sunday. Oh my gosh, that snuck up on it, didn't it?
Sunday at 11. All right. Put it right here. It's no biggie. But
I got to do a bunch of like furniture stuff and business and boxing on Saturday, but I'll try to.
I feel you.
We'll figure something out, man.
All right.
We'll be together in spirit regardless, right?
It's gonna be epic anyways. Doesn't matter.
Well, L&S.
Head down.
Good vibes.